People should attend the Hollywood Fringe Festival because it's got such a diverse voices, new voices, things that you're not going to be seeing on, and then that you may one day see on Netflix or Amazon. And also, people should come to have the live experience. It's about 7 to 10 venues in a very small walking area, and they're going to get just a great variety of experiences. You can come and see 2 shows very easily with these Hollywood Fringe voices that you're just not going to be expecting. So it's kind of like, it's not like Coachella because that became so commercial, but it's like Fringe-a-palooza. It's just like the Hollywood Fringe is like a little Fringe-a-palooza of, artists who are determined to get their voices out there, and the audience is really in for a treat. So I think they should venture out to come have experiences.
I totally agree. That was also completely the same thoughts for me. Just the Fringe is an experience where people can come support bold artists. I feel anyone doing a show in the Fringe is an artist who truly believes in their art, seeing the light of the audience or being out there in the world. And I'm sure there's a lot of Fringe artists that are similar to us who feel the Fringe was a perfect place to truly put their work out there despite what anyone else might have to say about it.
Hey, everybody. I'm Lori Hoeft, and I'm with Lenny Langley of Sugar and Shit at the Hollywood Fringe Festival at the Hudson Theater. If you want to learn a little bit more about our show, please listen to this interview. The story idea came from a performance art ritual I did in the Berkshires in a workshop with Sandra Seacat, in which I was an adopted child, and I was sitting in front of a barbed wire fence with a bowl of sugar and a plate of human excrement. And the whole ritual, the performance art rituals, was for me to break free of the sugar and shit in life. And during my childhood, I grew up eating sugar to get through the misery and the abuse. So I would constantly, no one was cooking me dinners, so I would just live on bowls of cereal, mainly Frosted Flakes. So after I wrote that 10-minute piece, that day, Jessica Lynn Johnson encouraged me to do a Fringe show. And then it was just like an obsession, like, okay, let's get this done. Then I called Lenny. I had heard that she had written a poem called Dear Sweetness. And I was like, perfect. Lenny and I have overlapping themes. So we got together and we brainstormed, and then we worked for months with James Nave as our creative coach. And he's from The Artist's Way. And between my passion, Lenny's determination, her stories, we were able to form an intersecting narrative. And it was just an obsession. We were like, sugar and shit, it's coming. It's coming out. We even had a prompt where they had this thing called the Shit Expulsion Headquarters. So it was like divine serendipity brought this play to life. Totally. And our pens and our papers and James Nave.
Yeah, and just to add to that, it was so special when Lori called me and said, hey, the Fringe is happening this year. Should we submit something? And it was completely just whimsical. And I thought, okay, I mean, what else are we doing? It's still COVID. Things are locked up, but theater's reopening. This is a perfect time to bring live theater back. And for me, writing the sugar section and in the portion that I'm playing in this show, it was a lot of themes that I've been mulling over for about 2 years now. And just the fake sweetness out there, the real sweetness, using sweetness as a survival strategy, using sweetness as a way to deal with your core wounding of your shitty experiences is really what the sugar section is about, and how people demand sweetness of women, especially, no matter what shit we're going through in our own life. People expect us to show up as the sugar and the sweet thing for them. So it was special to really be able to have this platform to refine some things that have been concepts floating around from my personal experiences for my lifetime, really. But it was special to let it out right now.
And I believe in using shittiness as a coping tool. Like if people are just so messed up to you, I think that women are really kind of demonized if they are not sweet. And that's why I feel that women should be allowed to express a whole spectrum of emotions, just like men do in movies and films and theater. The men are always killing the guy at the end. The women are always like sucking it up. And so I was like, you know what? There is sugar and shit for men and women. So let's all hear that reality. Well, the story arc starts with Sugar in a club getting ready to put on the persona of Sugar in order to receive or save the men that she comes into contact with. And then the story arc ends with Sugar. One of the men goes wild and is demanding a taste of her sugar and saying her life doesn't matter. He could break her neck. And then I won't say how the end is because I'd like to not have a spoiler alert. Is that okay? But it ends with women who don't take shit. So it starts with women who are becoming sugary to survive, and it ends with women who are like, I'm not taking SHIT, period. This show is Sugar and Shit is performed by Lenny Langley and myself, Lori Hoeft. And then we have voice actors, Chris Uffland, Michael Marins, Zeke Retman, doing
and Presley Cash.
Doing voices off screen. And also I did want to say, we had a person who listened to our table read, and she wanted to write an original song. So she did write an original song. Her name is Presley Cash, wrote an original song for us called A Spoonful of Sugar Makes the Shit Go Down, because it's really cool. Like, just to hear that our work is inspiring other artists, that was just like made my heart smile. I want the audience to feel like women should not be silent and they should speak up when they're going through SHIT, that they shouldn't take SHIT just because society has a defined role for women as permanent kindergarten teachers. We are much more than kindergarten teachers. And, and also we have the same emotions. Women and men have the same types of emotions. So we shouldn't be stifled. We should be supported. That's what I want the audience to take away from it. Here's two bold women's voices, and they're uncorked.
I would love the audience to feel the sense of shared humanity that we all have. We all have wounds. We all have emptiness inside that we're trying to fill, whether it's with sweetness or whether it's with sugar, or whether it's with shit, with more shit. We all are on this planet trying to survive and trying to make sense of our lives and trying to make sense of what we've experienced. And that's what we do all share in common. Even though it's two individual stories, they're connected through this collective theme of survival and moving forward.
I would like the audience to take away that no matter who you meet during your day, during your week, you may think that some people have it better or worse than you, but a lot of people have gone through a lot of shit to get where they are. And I would like there to be a common ground where people can have a sense of, you know what? Everyone's going through stuff. So let me just acknowledge that it may not be spoken, but there were 50,000 steps before I met this person. So I'd like people to be a little more reflective. People should go to see Sugar and Shit because the same way they should go see a wild concert, just to have a wild experience and to say like, wow, I was there right at the beginning, and it's visually appealing, it's bold, and they can actually after our show they even get a chance to write for 10 minutes about their own collective experience. They should go see it because it's about ending oppression and trauma and things that they probably have went through. So I think that they'll have a heartfelt experience as well as a little bit of a wild ride.
I think our show it's for the bold-hearted. It's for folks who are ready to be exposed in things that aren't often spoken about, for people who are ready for a provocative natured experience. Even when you get there, we have a performance artist who's transformed our lobby and who's doing art right outside the theater. So we have a whole immersiveness to our show. As soon as they arrive, they're already immersed in the aura of our themes, and they watch our show. And then the second portion of our 2-hour experience is the writing workshop that Lori just mentioned. So it's a whole arc to it besides just the arc of the actual play itself, that we really want people to leave inspired to potentially confront portions of their own reality or their own narrative that they hadn't considered before.
And Sugar and Shit is a total art experience. From the moment you step in, there's a thing of shit where it says "I'm the shit," and then you can take a picture under it. And then there's little pieces of candy all in the lobby. We have a performance artist. Then you go in, and then you hear the music, and you hear the compelling writing. I feel is very heartfelt. And then you get to go with us. We have people streaming in from Taos, New Mexico, the people where we incubated this story, to give our audience an experience of touching their inspiration. So I feel they should go because of the art. As a performer, I'm looking forward to the final scene with my mother. It just makes me relive something that makes me feel free.
For me, I have a lot of movement and dance in my piece, and dance has always been my complementary art form to my writing. The dance and writing have been my two oldest creative mediums, and so I love that this show merges my storytelling capacities with my movement capacities. And I know that my dance is something that I've had a lot of fans of over my lifetime, and I know that it's always fun to see people react to that part of me as well. So it's great to just have the multimodal element of our show.
I'm looking forward to seeing Lenny prancing around nude on the stage in her kinky boots, which I have not seen because I'm backstage.
There are nudity in our show.
And then secondly, I want to retract my answer. I'm actually looking forward to I'm actually looking forward to people hearing that I have transformed my SHIT into art. And I'm interested in that kind of visceral connection where the audience and I understand I made art out of my shit. The reason I chose the Hollywood Fringe Festival was it's got amazing venues, great support, great stages. And for me, it's a way to override the glass ceiling for women. There is no glass ceiling in the Hollywood Fringe. There's actually no ceiling in the Hollywood Fringe. You can it's just open. And that is something that is really impeccable about the Hollywood Fringe Festival. So that is why I'm participating in the Hollywood Fringe, because in my lifetime, I want to be someone who trailblazed at ending that glass ceiling. And while we were doing this, I went to I went to a talk with Patty Jenkins, and I invited her. She directed Wonder Woman. And I was like, Patty, any words for women who are playwrights or directors? And she was like, fight on, fight on. And so that's what the Fringe is giving me, a spirit of like, fight on, fight through any glass ceiling, be a Wonder Woman.
I'm excited just for folks to leave inspired to make a piece of art in whatever format that might be. That's why it was so cool that the collaboration with Presley Cash, who's a songwriter and a lyricist and a musician, came out of this. And, she didn't write her own play, but she wrote a song. And so having these other forms of inspiring other artists to create something because they were exposed to our art is so beautiful. And I think that's one of the best things about putting your art out there. So while it's scary and it's edgy to write something, especially when it's about your own life and your own story, I encourage all other artists to do so and to bring their art to completion into a product that's shareable, which is the scariest part. It's so easy to just write in your journal and do all those things, and that's awesome as well. And that's where these projects begin. But I really hope that folks leave our show excited to potentially make something that they will share with the world one day.
We had about 10 or 11 people do a write in the Imaginative Storm. And one of the people told me he's planning on doing a show next year at the Hollywood Fringe. And I feel like if we as artists contributed to his imaginative storm or to his accessing his creative muse, that not only we did our work, but we heard his work and we were blown away.
If you enjoyed our conversation today, we would love you to come see Sugar and Shit at the Hudson Theaters on Theater Row in Hollywood in Los Angeles on August 29th from 1 to 3 p.m. If you're outside Los Angeles, we welcome you to join our global live stream on YouTube and watch our show streaming online. You can buy tickets on the hollywoodfringe.org/project/7097 or on Ticket Tailor, which you can find through our show website at www.tigerlicious.live.
You should come see Sugar and Shit. Why? Because
it's Tigerlicious.
It's Tigerlicious. And she's Sugar.
And I'm the shit. I'm Sugar.
And I'm the shit.
I'm Sugar.
And I'm the shit.
And we hope you enjoy our original theme song, which has been written, co-produced, and performed by musician Presley Cash and produced by Bo Whitfield. It's called A Spoonful of Sugar.
Spoonful of sugar makes the shit go down. But tell me, who are you when there's no one around? The cheering of the crowd is my favorite sound. But tell me, who am I when the curtains come down? Begging your daddy for $1 bill while others took their daughters down snowy hills. But now I find a daddy in the guise I made, who want me home and hold my hair in the straight. But you're so brave. Give me what I need. Just hold still. I'll be sweet. I'll be sweet. I'll be sweet. I'll be clutching on the rosaries, smoking cigarettes, my national anthem, you know, his regret. The captain of the football team, he's always like a lazy man, laying in bed, praying to the dead. But you're so brave. Give me what I need. Just hold still. I'll be sweet. I'll be sweet. I'll be sweet. I'll be just like candy. Spoonful of sugar makes the shit go down. Who are you when there's no one around? Cheering of the crowd, it's my favorite sound. Who am I when the curtains come down? Who is your superhero now? Spoonful of sugar makes the shit go down. But tell me, who are you when there's no one around? The cheering of the crowd is my favorite sound. But tell me, who am I when the curtains come down? Begging your daddy for $1 bill while others took their daughters down snowy hills. But now I find a daddy in the guise I made, who want me home and hold my hair in the straight. But you're so brave, give me what I need. Just hold still, I'll be sweet, I'll be sweet, I'll be sweet. down. Who are you when there's no one around? Cheering of the crowd, it's my favorite sound. Who am I when the curtains come down? Who is your